Welcome to Guelph Fight Wrestle Hut. I'm Andrew Sennedra. This is Captain I Wish I Was Sailor Moon, Witch Fingers, and today we are going to be talking about, our thoughts on Double or Nothing. We're going to be debating, rating, and grading it, and seeing what our thoughts are on this. Before we get started, this video is sponsored by Ghost Hunt Sweden. For all your paranormal interests and entertainment, go down to the description below to check out his stuff, as well as this segues into our own merch page that we got now. We got a great picture, a great t-shirt design of this moron. It looks fantastic, and we already got some good sales on that, which is amazing. We already got sales on it, so go check out all that stuff. And thanks for Ghost Hunt Sweden for sponsoring Guelph Fight Wrestle. That is fantastic. Now we're going into Double or Nothing. We're going to start off on the main event and obviously working our way down. That was quite a main event. Really impressive. A lot of violence. So this guy's got his damn papers here. It's all fucking fly. Doesn't know what the hell he's doing. But really cool anarchy in the arena match between the Elite and the Blackpool Combat Club. Fucking annoying name to say, but but overall, there was a lot of really good moments in there. A lot of cool interactions between everybody. Some of the moments that I really liked were like the poker chip barbed wire. Kenny and Mox both took pretty good spills on that. The Matt Jackson had a really painful locomotion going down the ramp, which was vicious. That had to be hard on both dudes on that. Nick Jackson had some painful moments with the chair several times, and I really thought when Matt and Claudio worked their way up through the arena and then out in the pickup truck, I thought that was leading to something, and I was right, because that's when Matt Jackson sort of disappeared in the truck, then came back with his explosive shoe on Mox's head, which is just wild. Oh, he blew up Mox's head.
Mox is dead. It's finito. He'll disappear for the next 6 months because his head got exploded.
You gotta be careful. Get his eye maybe get all blown up or on fire or something, blind the dude. But I think then they got the revenge on Matt for that, so they got him with the tacks.
Oh, his poor feet. His poor feet.
Yeah, so you can see how badly the tacks were in. I wouldn't mind any of that stuff in my body, but I know how fucking brutal it is to get tattooed on the palm, so I couldn't imagine having the tacks in your feet, how sensitive that would be. It'd be like, oh dear God, that'd be nasty. Yeah, especially the amount. They're all in his heels, so they're absolutely vicious. Yeah, so what are some of your thoughts on this big main event match?
I thought it was cool that they have a live singer band.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then they just kept playing on repeat. And then the Young Bucks got pissed off. And they're like, ooh, these idiots, and their stupid intro music. And then they give him a super kick, and they kick the crap out of him. And their own band members, you said, were laughing at him. He's like,
oh, remember I said during the match, wouldn't it be cool if they went up there, like in the movie Dusk Till Dawn, and were like, now let's kill that fucking band. They go up there. Oh, and then they did that. I was like, hey, that was perfect. Maybe they got that from Dusk Till Dawn or something.
Another cool one I thought was funny was when Mox had that submission, and then the Bucks or somebody kicked him in the face, and he's he's getting angry, but he doesn't let up the submission. He's like, screw you.
He's like, fuck off.
And then somebody else jumps him, and then he's like, yeah, my submission helped. Oh, and man, that ending. We were wondering where does Takeshita lie in the middle? I was thinking that I kind of foresaw this, but it's still interesting to see where he's kind of gone dark and he's evil. He's in all black.
Is he evil? Is he evil like Dark Phoenix?
This dude corrupted him, right? He used to be so innocent.
I have to throw this shirt out with stupid Don Callis.
I think it's a good turn because as a good guy, babyface, he was kind of bland, he was kind of dull, but now he's darker. He's got a bit of a more edge to him.
Oh, maybe, right? Yeah, maybe a little bit. But I was telling you that I believe Takeshita and Don Callis, or at least Don Callis, was manipulating him for months. Because I was like, oh, don't go this, when Kenny was talking about the Bucks that are going to the hospital, he's like, oh, don't worry about that, don't forget about that. Oh, when's Hangman been around? I was like, he'd been plotting this for months, it seemed, at least. So I sort of suspected something like this going on, but yeah, quite an interesting ending. We had so many storylines within this, huge arc overall. You know, it seems like the Moxley Kenny Omega arc is like a comic book one, like Spider-Man versus Green Goblin for like decades and decades, and really solid piece of storytelling they're doing overall with so many different things and so many different storylines pulled together. It's really cool.
And I know you don't quite like Blackpool, but I think it was good that they won because, like, in a sense, like the good guys doesn't always win. You know, the evil guys, you know, the bad guys need to win sometimes, and then to make them threatening kind of thing.
Yeah, it's not like fucking WWF where it's like, oh, he's always winning, like Dolph Ziggler like always loses, you know. So it's just they make it a little more unpredictable in AEW. Not as unpredictable as New Japan though. That's wild. But anyways, moving on to the next match, which is the title match between MJF, Mr. Blabbermouth, Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, and Jungle Boy. Now this one was pretty good, and it was kind of good in the way we predicted it to be. That we're like, oh, it will be good because Darby will be exciting, Sammy will, and Jungle Boy will, and MJF. You know, thank God it's not just a one-on-one because that would have slowed the match down tremendously. He only like popped up once in a while. They beat him up, knocked him out of the ring. Then he'd come back in and they'd hit him and he'd fall back out. Like the match seemed to pretty much revolve around those three for the most part, right?
But one good thing is like as I predicted, like in these like higher caliber matches, like usually Max is like a dullard in the ring, but like in these big matches, he actually does pull out like a couple of moves that you don't normally see him do. Like we saw him do like Made in Japan from like the Lucha Bros kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
a few other moves. Kind of thing.
Yeah, he did, but it's like, come on, it's hardly anything, especially against what those guys did. There was a bunch of wild destroyers like consecutively in there, a bunch of like aerial assaults from everybody. Sammy really like went off the charts and had some really big aerial moments throughout the match as well. A lot of hard-hitting moments between guys. I really thought like the four-way submission was kind of funny.
Oh yeah.
You know, that one really worked, and the really cool, good succession of pin combinations. They all kept trying to pin each other, and they all kept like sort of, you know, one guy would take over and then move into another set of guys, and it was just a lot of like good cohesion there. But again, it really was like from those three that worked together so much. Like everyone's like, oh, MJF, and he talks about like, why would I wrestle more? So you have more continuity with guys. Why can like Darby and Jungle Boy and you know Sammy all wrestle so fluidly together and know where they are and do these things together? It's because they've wrestled each other so much, so it's very easy for them to do. MJF, it's like it's not. He moves around, it stutters around in the ring. It's stupid.
And we're finding that MJF is kind of like predictable. Like in the middle of the ring, he grabs the mic, you know, asking Sammy to, you know, lay down kind of thing. Like we both foresaw like the outcome of that, right?
you were calling everything that would happen. And then there was the match that seemed to be announced really late, the House of Black versus the Acclaimed and Billy, which was, you know, I thought it was going to be a little better, but wow, that was a slow-paced match, and it was mostly all about the House of Black working Anthony Bowen's knee. I was just like, what the hell? Like, what has Billy done to these guys? They used to have like higher paced, fun, more explosive matches. Like Max does almost nothing now, and Bowen seems to be relegated to like, you know, kick combination that he does, that soul butt, kicks up, clothesline, and then the one move, and then Max does like, it's like they've blueprinted themselves out. I'm like, fuck Billy and his WWF style. I'm tired of these guys that think wrestling is just like do the same thing over and over again. We have like this point, ending. You're like, holy crap. Well, why don't we just like fucking do that with songs and just have crappy Kiss songs that are repeating over and over again? Yeah,
it seemed like it was like a 3-on-1. It was just Bowens, right? Like those other two were there, but like, they weren't actually there, right? Like Bowens was in the match the whole time, and it's weird. I see like Max getting beat up outside, And then you see Billy going down. It doesn't help him. He just like climbs back up to turnbuckles. I'm like, okay, let your buddies die. I don't care.
That's what I mean. It was just a weird match. Like, who would have thought House of Black would have been in such a dudder? But I guess like when the other side isn't really doing much, and they're like, oh yeah, we didn't have time to prepare this random match. But
yeah, I've never seen House of Black like grab so many like leg locks and like grab so many holes in.
Malachi's like, how many ways can I grab this guy's leg? We gotta kill time somehow. So
I was like, okay, sure.
then we move on to the TNT title match, Wardlow versus Christian Cage, which was, you know, pretty good. It wasn't bad, especially since, like, I don't know how much expectations I had for this, obviously, because Christian is, you know, an old WWF type of guy and older, but he did take a bit of an ass whooping in that match. You know, so that was pretty solid of him getting his ass kicked. Good ladder usage in there. I like the whirly bird sort of gorilla press. You know, Wardlow kept like getting faster and faster and faster, and then tosses Christian. That must have been pretty hard for him to do. And the nasty missed senton that Wardlow had onto the ladder was pretty brutal when he missed. That thing was, oh, that would have really crushed Christian. All that weight coming down on him would have been absolutely brutal. And that crazy high 16-foot ladder or so senton on the Luchasaurus was he wanted, I think Wardlow wanted a big moment. He's like, I'm gonna kill this fucking guy. Here's my big moment.
I'm always like weirded out for those moments because like I figure it's like kind of hard to just judge the distance because you're like so high up and like you can easily just overshoot and break your back kind of thing. So I'm like, good thing he survived. He didn't overshoot.
Well, I think, like I said during the match, that I thought it was good that they put a second table there.
Yeah.
To add for that, because how many times we've seen it, the guy's like, oh shit, I missed half the fucking table, and my tailbone smashes on the ground.
And man, they need stronger ladders, man. They can't even support Wardlow's weight when you're like jumping across the ladder, just like gives out and the whole thing goes flying.
Yeah, it was funny. I think during the match at some point, like Taz or JR said like how it's like, oh, Wardlow's picking up like that 80-pound ladder with ease. I was like, 80-pound ladder, my ass. That thing's like aluminum. And Wardlow like jumps and it just fucking caves. I was like, holy crap. He was like, oh damn it, I hurt myself more doing that than anything else. But I thought the ending was around the ending, was pretty cool when he caught Christian into the powerbomb.
Oh yeah.
I was like, so there was some really, really good memorable moments. I think Christian really put his body out there and did a pretty good job overall, I think.
Yeah, I was waiting. I'm still waiting for like, it's like they seem to apply like some sort of 4 horsemen group kind of thing. But then, like, you know, his backup support was like that old man. I'm like, oh,
Arn.
That's all you got, guys.
Here comes Arn. He's biting people's fingers. He's like, oh, well, yeah, that was kind of funny. Now we're moving down to the tag team title match between FDR, Jay Lethal, versus Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. Apparently, I have no notes on this. It clearly says what I thought of the match, so I'm letting him run with this one.
Oh, first of all, I like that pencils guy suit, man. He got a huge pencil, like nice custom suit, you know.
Sanjay Dutt's damn. I was hoping Satnam Singh might have got more. It's kind of funnier when he gets involved instead of just hearing his voice from the outside.
It's fine. I thought it was suspicious that one moment where like Dax was like suspiciously close to Briscoe. I'm like, what's going on here? And then he swings the chair and then, you know, kills poor Briscoe. It's funny to see Aubrey come out and then like Sanjay is like blocking her and then the wife like comes in and kills Aubrey. It's like, oh, only Briscoe can ref this match.
Oh yeah, Aubrey took a nasty shot. Karen's evil. It's kind of funny. She's flipping everyone off, slapping her ass. She's like, fuck you, stupid fans. Eat that, you jerk offs.
It's funny to see Double J so cocky. He's like celebrating the win of the titles before they actually win, and then he kicks out. He's like, no.
He does that all the time. He's doing shit. In the middle of the match, he pulls a move. He's like, oh, I'm gonna do like a strut now. Yeah, and FTR, retains, which really wasn't surprising. But anyways, moving on to Adam Cole versus Chris Jericho. I think I had a bit more expectations for this. There was a few big moments. Considering it was an unsanctioned match, I thought there was maybe going to be a little bit more going down instead of just a fire extinguisher and a chain and a few things like that. I thought there would be a little bit more, but yeah, it was an okay match. Nothing to write home about. But the ending was definitely different. I thought he kept punching him in the head, and you know, they just stopped the match. I was kind of confused at that because it just well, it kind of just came out of nowhere. Like just checked him, and then it was like, oh, it's over. I was kind of like, what, did he get hurt? Like it was just really abrupt, and you know, I figured like maybe if he busted him open or something, but I don't know. It definitely, I thought maybe it would have been better if, you know, he's punching him and then like, oh, Jericho's like, you know, pushes him off, tries to get away, and then maybe like chokes him with a chain outside, and he loses consciousness maybe. But doing that, it was I think it was sort of hard to determine, you know, that he was out. It was hard for everyone to see.
Yeah, I also agree. Like I kind of mixed. It's like I think it kind of needs an unexpected ending kind of thing where like oh, like I wasn't quite expecting that, but then also like you said, it felt kind of anticlimactic.
Yeah, it was just kind of like, oh, he's out, and you're like, oh, he is.
Punches, but I think he had a chain around his fist, so like it was, you know, not a regular punch, it's like a super punch kind of thing. So.
Yeah, it was just it was weird because Jericho's arms were still flailing, kind of like Forrest Griffin, you know, eating his punches from a shot. You know, so I thought he was still in it. But yeah, it was an okay match, but the opener was much better. The 21 man blackjack battle royal or whatever. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I thought there was a lot of really good moments in there. I kind of liked, though, that they had guys waiting outside, so you know, not everybody was all clustered up in the beginning, and then guys started getting eliminated, and that's when dudes were running in. I thought that was actually kind of smart to sort of allow people to be able to see what was going on and allow people to have moments in the match, especially like the Lucha Bros and you know, Bandito and Commander and everybody. So I thought that was actually kind of good in there.
Yeah, initially I always thought I was like, oh, because these guys are villains, they're dirty, they're cheaters. But then when like, you know, you learn more about it, then it's like, I think that's probably like the real reason, like to just give more wrestlers, just have more room to actually do moves versus like everybody's everywhere. I have no room to do anything. Like, this room is too packed kind of thing, right? So it totally makes sense. So.
Yeah, especially like they could run around and beat the guys up outside or something like that, right?
It's funny to see Brian Cage. He's always strutting around, proving how strong he is. You know, he's got a commander on him. Somebody else jumps on him. No problem. I have like 2 guys on him. You know, double powerbomb. You know, kill everybody.
Yeah.
Too bad he didn't win though.
I definitely think I was hoping that the title would change. I thought it would be cool to do that, and I just thought it was really unrealistic that Orange Cassidy could overcome 20 other people. I was like, what? That just doesn't. It doesn't seem very plausible, and there was a few guys in there that I think, you know, were probably worthy of the title. I think the international title.
Oh yeah, I could think of like, you know, Swerve maybe, or like a few other.
Well, like I said, Ricky Starks. I thought you know, he seems like a guy who's sort of been deserving of this, and it would have been maybe cool for him to win it, because then Jay White and Juice Robinson would have had even more reason to be like, oh, now we're gonna go after that. We're not leaving you alone now. We might have left you alone, Ricky, but not now, Ricky. And they would have, you know, maybe that would have been a good segue into a big rivalry with that. So
I kind of see him losing as well. But then like when they announced it, it kind of seemed like he nonchalantly say like, I can take a 21 guys, no problem, no sweat, right? And he proved it, right? 21 guys, not a challenge for him.
Yeah, but that's our thoughts on this. I guess we missed the women's matches. That must mean we're misogynistic, I guess. You know, oh well, but you know, we didn't really have too many thoughts on the women's match. I actually don't even remember one of them at all. Yeah, the Hater and Toni Storm. Nothing's coming to mind. But Chris Statlander did come back and win. But yeah, anyways, those are our thoughts on AEW's Double or Nothing. Pretty interesting stuff. Our ranking system. We got good, great, awesome, amazing, spectacular, and fantastic. Where do you got it rated on yours?
I think it was between great and awesome, but then I think I'm gonna have to say great. Pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, for the most of the pay-per-view, I had it at good. I was like, and then the AEW title match, the 4-way, put it up to great for me. Yeah. Thanks to Darby and Sammy and Jungle Boy. Fuck that other idiot. And then it went up to awesome for me because of the anarchy in the UK. Anarchy in the UK. Anarchy in the arena. Yeah, it was pushed up to amazing. So we're pretty close on this one. But those are our thoughts. Tell us your thoughts down in the description below. If I'm totally wrong and you love MJF, well, if you do, screw you. Anyways, until next time, folks, how about some heavy wrestling?